Okay, we are back and we are going to talk about England in this country.
Jolly old England.
Yeah, and this is a country we're going to talk about the most this year.
Yes.
And in the Middle Ages, England will be the first one to take steps towards democracy, which will be an important theme this year. So there is England, and people always forget that England's an island. I must say that a
Yes.
thousand times.
Oh my gosh.
Here it is.
Driving to England
Our
cannot
England's
happen.
to the left, or Puerto Rico, which I hear all the time.
Yes, yeah, me too.
All right, so as England developed into a nation, democratic traditions evolved. The idea of democracy started with the Greeks in
Yep.
Athens, spread to the Romans.
Yep.
They brought it to England, and eventually it will become the United States.
Oh, the Revolutionary War.
Oh, yeah. So, Battle of Hastings.
Battle of Hastings. So William, remember going back to feudalism, we talked about land. So William, the Duke of Normandy, which is in northern France, also known as William the Conqueror, is going to, he's the cousin of the King of England. So he's going to lead this invasion, and there's some land involved. William granted fiefs, remember those pieces of land, and now they owe loyalty to him. So there's this connection now between the fiefs of land in Normandy and England, or in France, and then in England. So we have some issues going on.
And they all swear loyalty to him
Yes.
instead of having a whole bunch of lords all over. There's
Exactly.
just one big one, and that's the king.
The king.
So this is that foundation for that centralized government. So he won at the Battle of Hastings in 1066. It'll be the last time England gets invaded on their home soil by an army.
Yeah.
And to this day.
And I think it was at the Battle of Hastings too that men on horseback actually come to England, I think, or vice versa, because of this battle. Yep.
So 61 years will be the 1,000-year anniversary. I'll be dead, but you guys can check it out.
I'll be around.
Yeah,
I'll still be here.
I'm old.
Yeah, he
Here's
is old.
some images from the Battle of Hastings. You can visit this in England.
Not the best art
I know.
back then. Oh, can't wait for the Renaissance, guys.
Like Maloney students.
Yeah.
So English kings have two goals: hold on to the land they have and acquire more French land. And they also want to strengthen their own power over their nobles and the
Yes.
church as well.
Which again, all of these themes are coming together. So remember what we said, feudalism, it's all about land. So right now having land means you have that power. So you want to keep that land.
So here's southern England, and they're going to repeatedly attack northern France and try to take that over. All right, Henry II, who ruled in the 1100s, introduced the jury system, which we still have today. I'm sure you hear your parents say, "Oh my God, jury duty, no!"
Oh, it's the worst.
It's the
You go there,
best.
spend all day, and then they don't even need you.
I like it.
You would.
So 12 neighbors of accused answer royal judges' questions about a case. So the idea where it's better to have 12 people decide your fate instead of one.
Exactly. And hopefully they can come to a consensus. And it's your neighbors, so you hope that there's, not a total bias, in the situation. But we'll talk a little bit about juries later with the Inquisition, which is always fun.
Oh, yeah. All the judges' rulings over these centuries in England become known as common law, so they can refer back to a earlier event and say, well, this is what a judge ruled, so we'll do the same.
It happens today, looking at precedent. So what happened before sets the basis.
Such exciting stuff. And
Oh,
this
yeah.
is going to spread throughout the world. King John, nicknamed John Softsword, not the best nickname.
And no, definitely not.
He's going to lose all of England's French land, and the idea of Robin Hood comes from King John.
I was just going to say King John.
John raises taxes to an all-time high to pay for his wars, and he kept losing them, which doesn't help either.
Wasn't his brother, right? King Richard, off fighting in the Crusades.
That's
and
right.
He supposedly was the bad brother.
And then in
Soft sword.
in 1215, the historic Magna Carta was signed by King John. And what did that guarantee?
So essentially, I think of like the Bill of Rights. So this is the first attempt at trying to stop the king from having so much power and to sort of put a limit on it. And again, some of those, the no taxation without representation, which we'll see in the Revolution, jury trial, due process, so everyone is equal under the law. We see those in the Bill of Rights. So this influence in England is going to carry over into, some of our future discussions. But interesting to note, though, it doesn't apply to everybody. So the limiting power and the rights are usually reserved for the nobles who get all those rights, not the serfs and the peasants.
We have the same problem here in the United States. It takes a long time to get everybody those rights.
Exactly. Yep.
There is King John, not looking too happy about it. Fine, I'll sign it,
No.
but I don't want to. But he had to have the support of his nobles or he'd have no power.
Exactly. So give and take, right?
Yeah. Edward I is, he wants to raise taxes for war, common theme that the English are
I was just
doing.
gonna say, yep.
So he summons a parliament in 1295. So these citizens of wealth and property are going to get together, and Parliament will be the legislative body. They're going to make the laws.
And just like today, the Parliament still exists in England, and then we see today our Congress, so the House of Representatives and the Senators, very similar to the House of Commons and the House of Lords. So division between the sort of regular folk and the nobles.
All right, so we'll be coming back to England a lot this year. This is a little
Definitely.
foundation of what England did during the Middle Ages.
Next, Crusades and the Black Death,
Oh, yeah.
the good stuff.